of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will you join me in prayer? Supreme Architect of the universe, we invoke thy blessing at this time. May this meeting thus begun in peace and closed in harmony. Amen?
Amen.
Mr. Williams, will you stand at the podium, sir?
Yes. No special reason, we're just not going to let you sit down.
All right, the doctor says you sit too much. No, ever since our meetings have started with this Board of Commissioners, Danny has graciously led us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And I value your friendship, and I thank you for that, sir. I had an opportunity to be up at Ground Zero 2 weeks ago and got to see the memorial. And when I went through the memorial, I wanted to pick you up something. So on behalf of my fellow commissioners, I'd like to present you with this gift, sir.
He wrapped it himself.
I see that. Oh. Thank you. Thank you very much, gentlemen. David.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you, Michael.
Thank you.
I will wear that with pride. That'll go on my partially bald head with pride. Thank you.
Well, I'd suggest you take the tags off because then you'll be real hip.
Well, I look a little bit like Minnie Pearl.
There you go. Thank you.
That's just dying for a joke, so we better move.
All righty. Fellow commissioners, well, first of all, I'd like to welcome everyone to our public business meeting, Thursday, February 28th, 2013, 5 o'clock p.m. Commissioners, are there any additions or deletions to our agenda?
No, sir.
None? Gentlemen, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes of our February 21st, 2013 public business meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Brody, seconded by Commissioner Valentine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, moving right into our item number 1 on your agenda, gentlemen, is a proclamation. This is a proclamation for I've been practicing all week.
Trying too hard.
Wrong word. I told you what to say.
No, I'm not going to say what you said because this is a family show. Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month proclamation. I understand that Ms. Morgan is here, who is an RN with the Allegheny County Health Department, and she is the patient educator. So, Ms. Morgan, you'd like to say something, and then we'll go ahead and present this proclamation.
I passed out some papers, and tomorrow is Dress in Blue Day. It says March 2nd, but that was a typo. We were in a hurry this afternoon. It is tomorrow. Colorectal cancer affects both men and women equally. We're trying to raise awareness. Everybody heard about breast cancer. Everybody wears pink. So on the first Friday in March, we're to wear blue. This cancer is a preventable cancer if you just get screened. It's one day of inconvenience that could really save your life. There's a risk factor sheet I gave you. It's not a check-off. Somebody tried to check it off and hand it back to me. It is something that you need to look at and discuss with your doctor. If you have a first-degree relative that has had colon cancer, you need to be screened no matter how old you are. Screening usually starts at age 50. We have a program. I gave you a brochure like this. We have a program that's funded by cigarette restitution monies that will pay for a free colonoscopy as long as you're over 50, live in Allegheny County, and uninsured, and meet 250% of the federal poverty guidelines. That's $28,000 for a family of one. That's really high for here. A lot of our people don't begin to make $28,000 a year. So there's absolutely no reason why we couldn't wipe this cancer out if people would just be screened. I always say, when in doubt, check it out. This is something that could save your life. I call people every day. They look at me, they say, oh, I don't do that. Well, if you don't want to do that, then be prepared to get the second leading cause of cancer, because it could be prevented if you just do the prep and get screened.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Morgan, will you join us here up here for this proclamation, please? Okay, I'd like to read this, please. Allegheny County Government Proclamation. Whereas colorectal cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in the state of Maryland, and colorectal cancer does not usually produce symptoms in its early stages, and screening is the best method of early detection and prevention of colorectal cancer. And screening is advised for all individuals 50 and older, and all individuals under 50 with personal or family risk factors for colorectal cancer. Now therefore we, as the Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim March 13th to be Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month in Allegheny County, and encourage all citizens to be proactive, become informed about this disease, and seek screening. It is dated today with the County Commissioners of Allegheny County and its great seal. Congratulations. Thank you. I think we're going to have, whoop, there she is. Want to try this again?
Sorry, Brett.
Okay.
Thank you. Everybody get screened.
Commissioners, item number 2 this evening is a Sheriff's Department recognition. The Sheriff is here, Skinny Minnie Craig Robertson.
Why don't you guys come on up, Jeff? Thank you, Commissioners. First of all, thank you for giving me the time and opportunity to publicly recognize 2 employees who have demonstrated to the citizens that law enforcement is fighting back to protect them. Over the past 2 months, we've noticed an increase in residential break-ins in the Frostburg area. However, on January 8th, this concern struck hard when a residence was burglarized while the residents were asleep inside. The homeowner awoke and found that someone had entered his residence, removed a TV, money, firearms, along with his vehicle. Deputy Craig Simpson and Corporal Sean McBee both responded to that location and proceeded to conduct an investigation. Deputy Simpson did, through his investigation, develop a suspect, but was unable to obtain enough evidence to result in an arrest. 1 month later, on February the 8th, at 4:30 in the morning, a second residence was entered on Slabtown Road. This time, a grandfather and grandson heard noises and proceeded to investigate. As the grandfather entered the attached garage area, he was confronted by the intruder and was struck on the head with an object. The grandson, who came to his aid, was also assaulted by the perpetrator, and which fled the residence. It so happened, a call was received at 911 and the deputies were dispatched. It so happened that both Deputy Simpson and Corporal McBee were working again that morning, along with Lieutenant Randy Cutter. Deputy Simpson, who had developed a suspect in the last break-in in that area, decided to proceed to the suspect's residence and set up surveillance. Within a short time, Deputy Craig Simpson observed the suspect exiting a wooded area and was able to make the apprehension. Police work sometimes can only be as good as the community it services. We rely on information provided by the public to build cases. Deputy Simpson and Corporal McBee's determination in conducting a proper investigation resulted in the recovery of numerous stolen items and the arrest of 3 individuals. Deputy Simpson is a 16-year veteran of law enforcement, and Corporal McBee is a 9-year veteran. It's my pleasure tonight to present both of the deputies with a dedicated service award for their accomplishments. Sean. Thank you.
Gentlemen, can we get a picture up here of you guys? We'll move out of the way. But to have the great seal behind it, I think it'll be a good opportunity for Ms. Brett.
You guys get in. Now get over here.
I want to stand over with you. I want to stand over here with these.
You gentlemen have to go to the side so I can get everyone in, please.
Is that because we have some fat people up here on stage?
Sneak
Challenge you,
together.
Craig.
Sneak
Turn
together.
sideways now. You just.
I know, I have to, including myself.
Okay, one more. Thank you.
Thank you.
Always good to see you. Thanks, sir. Very proud of you guys.
Right, thank you. Okay, Commissioners, on our action agenda this evening, item number 3 is action on Code Home Rule Bill 1-13, compensation for public officials. Mr. Rudd.
This is the code bill. This would enact the report of the Salary Study Commission for various public officials. We've talked about this before, including the sheriff, of course, who's here, who will get a raise. Not he will, but he may, but whoever serves in that capacity after the next election. And anyway, we had the hearing last week, and of course, there was nobody spoke for or against, and of course, it was introduced the week before, and we had a week before that, the report from the committee itself. So it's here. You can take action today to approve it. Once again, this is to take into account, this would cover employees who are elected, public employees, public officials who are elected after the next at the next election.
2014.
That's right.
Okay. Commissioners, like to entertain a motion that we accept Code Home Rule Bill 1-13, compensation for public officials.
So move.
And second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Valentine, seconded by Commissioner Brody. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. See, I told you we can let Mr. Rudd speak. He doesn't ramble on. Okay, item number 4 is action on a road opening petition. And
We actually had the hearing. This is the one Mr. Kazari was here last
Correct.
week. We've had 2 hearings on this, actually.
Right.
And so it's been approved by all the departments, and it's recommended by staff that the petition be approved.
I'd like to entertain a motion that the petition be approved.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Brody, seconded by Commissioner Valentine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, gentlemen, is the landfill leachate waste treatment agreement. Mr. Kale, our Director of Public Works, sir.
I don't know if you guys know that Mrs. Morgan is Jerry Morgan's wife, one of our favorite employees.
That is correct.
Okay, didn't know if you knew or not. Leachate agreement, the landfill's been there since 1992. We've always had a leachate agreement with the Waste Management. The current agreement expires in February. It's a 10-year agreement. There's no significant changes to that agreement except in our benefit. Currently, we can dispose of 2,000 tons of sludge a year for free, and that's been increased to 3,500 tons per year. And they do pay, during the Georges Creek hearings, there was some question about the leachate. They do pay for the disposal of this leachate. It does not cause any great problems at our plants. They work with us when they do cause a problem with the nitrogen. They're a good group to work with. And just for your information, we've looked at adding a line to collect the leachate. Currently what they do now is they empty a tank and dump it in with a truck. They're looking at putting the line in. That line is on hold now because they're trying to put a liner on the landfill, which will reduce the leachate. So they're looking at that now, whether we're going to proceed with that. So, but they're very cooperative. Sometimes they haul that leachate to, usually goes to Georges Creek because it's closer. But at times we can't take it to Georges Creek and they take it to Celanese, and they've always been very responsive to our request.
Okay.
And the new agreement will be extension to 5-year extension.
Okay. Very good. Commissioners, any thoughts? Questions?
Nope.
Okay. I'd like to entertain a motion that we authorize the county commissioners to approve and execute amendment number 2. Is there a motion?
So move.
It's been moved by Commissioner Valentine.
Second.
Is there a second? It has been seconded by Commissioner, what's your name? Commissioner Brody?
Rudd.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Paul, I think it was last week, Mark was in here with some new designer glasses. I think you've got a new sport coat on. That, or you're headed to a cruise or something like that.
Actually, it's an old sport coat.
Is it?
I didn't want to wear a tie today, so I wore a sport coat.
Is that what it was? And where did you get that? Never mind. Okay, item number. Cleaned. If your clothes aren't becoming to you, they should be coming to me. All right, item number 6. Local Management Board of Allegany County. Where is Miss Courtney?
She is not here, sir.
Okay. Would you like to speak a little bit about this, sir?
I could do that. Commissioners, the agreement that you have before you is a recommendation from the community partnership folks at the local management board, acting through the Children's Cabinet. You are directed by the state as a pass-through for these funds to take formal action.
Okay. I'd like to entertain a motion, Commissioners, to authorize the County Commissioners to sign the Community Partnership Agreement between the State of Maryland, acting by and through the Children's Cabinet. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Brody, seconded by Commissioner Valentine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Item number 7 is the Merkel Response Services Lease Addendum number 2. Allegheny County Department Economic and Community Development Director, Mr. Matt Diaz.
And if you'll notice, he's wearing the same old glasses, same old jacket, So.
I just same old every week, I know.
Yeah, but he's got a new shirt on, though.
No, but it's a clean shirt.
It is a clean shirt.
Yes.
Very good.
I won't make comment about how they were 2 days late coming last week, but nonetheless, they're clean. But thank you anyway.
Oh, my.
Good evening, Commissioners. In front of you tonight is lease addendum number 2 for the Merkel Response Services. January of 2012, we entered into a lease agreement with Merkel for approximately 32,000 square feet. In October of last year, they expanded to take an additional, I'll say approximately 10,000 square feet. And lo and behold, at this point in time, they have agreed, actually the company and my department have talked, and we've agreed that very similar space in the large building in the back, they're going to basically pick up their operation and move it to very similar space in a different part of that large building, thus changing the demise premises of the lease, and that's why we have the addendum in front of you tonight. Nothing will change in terms of rent. All that stays the same. The company's mission that they are going to keep their contingency site here. But what this does do is hopefully another project which we're going to tie up here in the next month or two will effectively fully lease 2 of those 3 large buildings in the back.
Wonderful.
So we're kind of lining it up, so we're going to back out of the building as we're leasing it. It's a 330,000 square foot building, and I would say I'm hopeful here in the next couple months we'll have approximately 200,000 square feet of that leased. And Merkel has agreed to work with us on that to make that process a little easier. So on behalf of the company and the Department of Economic and Community Development, I respectfully request your approval.
Okay. Gentlemen, I'd like to entertain a motion to authorize the President of the County Commissioners to sign the lease addendum number 2 with Merkel Response Services. Is there a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Valentine, seconded by Commissioner Brody. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Eberly, what do we have on our consent agenda this evening, sir?
Commissioners, we have 3 items on the agenda for your consideration this evening. They relate to a procurement for an HVAC system for this building. We're going to surplus a vehicle from our transit division, and Mr. Westfall has recommended an amendment to the county's rules and regulations concerning the Family Medical Leave Act.
Okay. I have only one question.
Yes, sir.
With the surplus of this bus, my family's growing. We might need a bus.
It's not big enough.
Is there a
The bus is not
conflict
big enough.
to get that bus? So I have to go somewhere else?
Well, you'd have to go somewhere else, sir. This is not a drivable vehicle at this time, unless you need parts for the vehicle.
I mean, I don't want to pick on my wife, but have you seen her drive? That might be a bonus.
It's only a 15-passenger bus. It's not big enough.
Oh, it's not big enough. Okay.
No.
All
You
right.
need to see Mr. Barnes in Frostburg and get a school bus.
A school bus. Okay. All right. I regress. Anyhow, this is serious. Mr. Everly, please control yourself.
I will.
I'd like to entertain a motion to accept our consent agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Commissioner Brody, seconded by Commissioner Valentine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Do you have any correspondence, Mr. Everly?
I do, Commissioners. As you will recall from our public meeting with the delegation last year, one of the legislative requests that we advanced to the delegation at that time was the prospects of establishing a new beverage liquor license for Rocky Gap. And there is a hearing tomorrow in Annapolis concerning Senate Bill 629. And I have correspondence here. If you would like, I could read it into the record concerning that legislation. The letter is actually addressed to Joan Carter Conway, the chair of the Education, Health, and Environmental Affairs Committee with the Senate of Maryland, also to the Honorable Derek Davis, chair of Economic Matters, Maryland House of Delegates. Dear Chairwoman Conway and Chairman Davis, we would like to take this opportunity to express our support on behalf of Senate Bill 629 and its companion bill, House Bill 816, titled Alcoholic Beverages, Allegany County, Video Lottery Facility Sales and Consumption. The purpose of this legislation is to amend Maryland state law to allow the Allegany County Board of License Commissioners, the Liquor Board, the ability to issue a Class BWL VLF video lottery facility and a Class BWL VLC concessionaire license to qualified applicants. This legislation provides for on-site sales only and specifies an annual fee amount for each classification. This legislation will provide to the state licensed video lottery facility at Rocky Gap the same privileges enjoyed by similar gaming facilities in Maryland. Thank you for allowing us this opportunity to comment on this legislation.
Gentlemen, any thoughts? Consensus,
I think we have to support that. It's vital for the Operation Rocky Gap.
Okay, absolutely.
And I understand that the House hearing was held Monday, and that hearing went very well, and I'm sure tomorrow's hearing will go good too.
Well, we're committed to making this organization thrive in Allegany County, so, okay, let's pass it around. May I, please?
Yes, sir.
Commissioners, while you're signing that correspondence, if you'll allow me to take just a moment, I want to give everyone just a brief public service announcement that next week we will be joined by the leadership of the Allegany County Animal Shelter Management Foundation. We're going to get an update from them from those folks concerning their capital campaign to construct a new animal care pet adoption facility here in the county, and talk about the need to move forward with a formal management agreement with that organization to clearly define the roles and responsibilities of both the county and the organization moving forward in the future. So,
okay.
Be looking forward to that next week.
Perfect.
It's birthday, boy.
Yeah, I know.
Don't tell anyone. It's his birthday.
Right. Yeah.
He didn't want anyone to know, I don't think.
But he did say he wanted gifts. So if you tell somebody you want gifts, you have to tell everybody that it's his birthday. And my understanding is that Commissioner Brody knows exactly how old he is.
100 years today.
100 years today.
A century old today.
They're dog years. All right. Well, Bill.
See, you and your wife are getting diapers from family and friends now for the newborn.
Yeah.
Bill's getting Depends.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I just wanted to thank you for not making him speak too much, because I know he's going to have to save his breath for after a while if he's got to blow out that many candles. Sir, the mic's yours.
It is.
It is. Is there anything you'd like to say, birthday boy?
No, thank you.
All right. I do a really good impression of Marilyn Monroe singing Happy Birthday, Mr. President. Would you like me to do that for you?
You know this is on the The web, right? Yeah. A lot of voters out there. No, I'll pass on that.
Well,
Thank you for the offer.
they might like my singing.
They could.
So, all right. Well, happy birthday, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Commissioners, is there anything you would like to say? Commissioner Valentine.
Well, I've had a rather busy week. Last Saturday, Delegate Myers and I had the opportunity to tour Rocky Gap, see what all's going on at the lodge. Anybody that's going to the Hooley Plunge party on Friday or going to the plunge itself on Saturday can go in and they'll give you a little bit of a tour of the lodge itself. The main lobby's already been completely remodeled, new wood floor throughout the lobby. They've redone the fascia of the fireplace out there, new reception area. What's always been the golfers bar on the lakeside has been redone. It's going to become a full-time sports bar with a concrete patio outside for outside dining. Even have flat screen TVs you can watch from outside. The lodge is being remodeled from one end to the other. The rooms, when they're empty, are being painted. New furnishings are being bought. So we're getting much more than just a slots facility out there. I think we're actually going to finally end up with the destination resort that we looked forward to so many years ago. They've even purchased all new golf carts for the golf course, and sounds a little bit strange to some people, but it was quite necessary. They're bringing in a special sand for the sand traps on the golf course to be able to hold tournaments. That sand has to be a certain grade, certain depth, which it wasn't in the past. And they've already lined up a number of golf tournaments to be held at that golf course. Golf course seemed to have been neglected for the last number of years. Then I spent a few days down in Annapolis, Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday, spent about 6 hours at the House of Representatives testifying on most part to try to save the coal tax credit. I believe that hearing went extremely well. I think the House will vote to put coal tax credit back into the Burfa bill. Then on Wednesday, basically the same thing on the Senate side. They seem to agree also that coal tax credit is very important to this area. So I truly think that we'll get that restated in the Burfa bill. Saturday or Tuesday evening up until 9 o'clock, there's debates going on some bills that were introduced for Marcellus Shale. A couple bills were put in to put a permanent moratorium on Marcellus Shale. It's rather amazing to listen to that committee chair lady. She actually chewed out the people who put those bills in, stating that the governor already had a de facto moratorium with the study commission, and it seems that the feeling of that Senate committee is to let the study commission finish their work and let the study commission make the recommendations. Just Monday, received an email with a report that was done by Dr. Eshelman from Frostburg University. Linda had the great chore of printing that out for me. It was only 174 pages, which I have to read by next week and understand what all's in there. But all in all, I think it was a rather successful week in Annapolis.
Good. Commissioner Brody. Yes, sir. Well, I have actually two things, but actually it's going to increase to three now. Because one thing, and thank you for all your time you spent down there this week, Bill. The funny thing is, by several of these bills that actually cripple and hurt Western Maryland, it's all introduced by people that have nothing in Western Maryland. The coal tax credit by Anne Arundel County Delegate Herb McMillan, and the fracking bills by everybody west of here, not everyone, several, that actually do not have a stake in this, and that's really disappointing for me. And it's costing this end of Maryland lots of revenue, jobs, and everything else. So that's disturbing that they want to halt us and shrink us. But A question I have for you, Commissioner, and I don't mean to be putting you on the spot, is I missed your conference call the other night through Rural Coalitions, and I did have a question I wanted to see you upstairs about tonight. This might be a better place to ask, because you were talking about a very serious issue, and I was wondering how they come down on said issue. And I thought it was kind of pertinent what made me think of with the sheriff being in the House tonight.
It was brought up to the Maryland Rural Counties Coalition last night to take action or take a position on House Bill 294. Of course, that's the Firearms Safety Act of 2013. From a vote of 9.5 to a half. Two of the counties, they're forms of county exec. So the county exec gets half a vote, and then the council gets a half a vote in the Rural Counties Coalition. So 9.5 to a half was the final tally for opposition of House Bill 294. And so that means I'll be headed back down to Annapolis tomorrow to testify. And if I may, I wanted to read a little bit of what my testimony is going to be.
Please.
If I might.
Please.
The Maryland Rural County Coalition, a coalition of 10 rural Maryland counties representing more than 900,000 rural Maryland residents, wish to respectfully convey our opposition to House Bill 294, the Firearms Safety Act of 2013. The Maryland Rural Counties Coalition joins with the entire national community in mourning the senseless tragedy and loss of innocent lives in places like Newtown, Connecticut, and other locations around the country. However, we do not believe that the loss of constitutional right, privileges, and protections are something that should be lost or traded in the name of public safety in order to secure a false sense of security. This legislation, if enacted, will not save any lives. While we believe it is well-meaning legislation, studies have demonstrated that an increased gun restriction of law-abiding citizens, crime, some locations actually increase. Additionally, we believe that there are issues with the mechanics and the merit of the bill language. As Benjamin Franklin so eloquently stated in 1775, they who can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserves neither liberty nor safety. It is in regard that the Maryland Rural Counties Coalition opposes the Firearms Safety Act of 2013. We do not believe that the loss of rights extended to our citizens both naturally and by the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution should be lost, any more that we believe that with the senseless accidents and tragedies resulting from driving under the influence of alcohol, the alcohol purchases and ownership of general public should be restricted or banned. These are several concerns with the contents of the bill which resulted in some unforeseen ramifications upon law-abiding public should this legislation be enacted into law. Demonizes owners of a massive number of commonplace weapons by banning the purchase or transfer of those weapons, including those moving into the state. This affects many weapons not previously regulated. Restricts ammunition such to anyone under 21 may not possess ammunition outside the presence of an adult over 21. Insults our young adult military members by denying them the right to own ammunition, even for training purposes, while at the same time allowing them to join our military to use real assault rifles and to be placed in war zones. Criminalizes formerly law-abiding gun owners if they fail to abide to this new law by awarding them with prison time and stripping of their rights to own any firearms. Confuses transportation laws when regulating weapons. It appears that if you transport a grandfathered weapon, a banned weapon outside the state, it will be illegal for you ever to bring it back into Maryland. Excludes new shooters by requiring an expensive and complicated license to rent a handgun. The coalition would support and endorse legislation which would strengthen public safety by restricting gun ownership from individuals who suffer from certain mental illness. The coalition would also support enhancing penalties on individuals who engage in criminal acts committed with a firearm. We believe that the Firearm and Gun Safety safety dialogue is the utmost importance, and we encourage and welcome all participants and discuss the issues and find it meaningful middle ground that we can provide true safety in our communities, our families, and our children. We believe that real compromises can be found while maintaining the integrity and protections of the United States Constitution provided to all law-abiding Americans. Therefore, we respectfully transmit our opposition to this legislation and encourage the committee to give an unfavorable report to House Bill 294 and work to address the major issues in public safety issue, namely, prevention of access of firearms of troubled individuals. So that will be my testimony for tomorrow.
Thank you, Commissioner, because...
One thing, if I could, on that, Mike. I spent about 4 hours in Annapolis yesterday listening to the debate on the gun issue. In the Senate, they actually suspended the debate yesterday to hear some other bills. They went back into session to hear the gun debate again today. It's probably still going. I think every senator that spoke yesterday had an amendment to this legislation. Senator Brinkley from Frederick made amendments to it because the way the bill was written, hunters from West Virginia could be fined and even imprisoned for bringing their deer hunting rifles into Maryland because their deer hunting rifles may not meet Maryland's new gun standards. They would be charged with possession of an illegal firearm and transporting an illegal firearm across state lines. So some of the stuff in the bill is just absolutely terrible, and you're going to be in for a long day down there tomorrow.
Commissioner Brody?
Well, thank you, Mike, because I was wondering about that, because a lot of the citizens, that's one of the #1 things I get asked right now. Everyone feels that their Second Amendment right is under direct attack, and I said, well, we'll see where the Rural Coalition stands on this, so thank you. The other thing tonight, I wanted to see, we have some information out at the airport. I've been trying to keep you up to date on what's going on out there. Our tests come back. We do have the paperwork back now on our sump saver. Everything is good. It was we kind of jumped through a bunch of hoops there because of an accusation. It was one of them deals where we was guilty until proven innocent. Well, we proved ourselves innocent. Again, the test was actually done several times prior to, but we did it again, no problem whatsoever. But I would like to ask a favor.
Yes, sir.
If by chance, if I could set it up and have the airport manager here next week, would you be interested in putting him on Commissioner Chat? Because I would like him to answer some of the questions on some of these allegations, and I would also like to invite the media to stay after to witness this in case they also have any questions.
I think that would be a great idea for the next topic for Commissioner Chat. We'll do it next week. Sorry.
Very good, sir. And
we always got to check with the cameraman first, but or second or third, anyhow. But
one last thing, and then I'll be quiet because I don't like really speaking this much. Sheriff, if you would pass on how proud we are of your 2 officers that you recognize tonight. I think that speaks volumes to the officers you have in your employ. So very good. I hope the continued more success. And as always, the calendar is available online.
All right.
I almost forgot that tonight because I just had so much other stuff on my mind. So thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, Commissioner. Okay. Constituents. We have one that's signed up, Mr. Wilmot. As Mr. Wilmot does come to the podium, we offer 5 and 5. And understand his topic today is 487 Ford Avenue. So, Mr.
Yes,
Wilmot.
Sir. I'm Kenneth Wilmot. I live at 513 Ford Avenue. I'm a 20-year military veteran, U.S. Air Force. I'm here to announce to you people, I now own 487 Ford Avenue. It is mine. Right, Mr. Rudd?
You say so, yes.
You did the work for me. Thank you. This is an open invitation to everybody, commissioners, law enforcement, to come up and take a tour of 487 Fort Avenue to look at the inside of it. So people would know that when a person comes and complains about a piece of property, what they were going to find. I personally have not went in the house. I haven't been on the property, but I was told by a representative of the Susquehanna Bank that he's never seen a place so filthy in his whole life, and he does the assessments for the Susquehanna Bank when they foreclose on mortgages. So, also, the gentleman over here on the camera, he's invited to make a tour of this house. Times News is invited, law enforcement. I think it would be a real good learning experience for a lot of people. Thank you very much.
Mr. Wilmot, I understand that you definitely put a lot of pride and you put your money where your mouth is when it comes to Ford Avenue and looking out and taking care of that. I actually at church on Sunday had a conversation and you were our topic.
Gee, and I didn't know I was so famous.
I'm telling you, and it was good, positive, and the good work that you've done by taking care of her husband before he had passed away, and anyhow, so it was kudos.
Just may I allow me to say one thing. People don't have to live in this with these kind of people, and they don't have to put up with them not cleaning up the property or whatever. There are laws. It might take time, but persistence pays off. And I had the backing of everybody on Ford Avenue, with the exception of a few people who just don't want to get involved in anything. And that's why we have the problems today. If people wouldn't get involved in their neighborhoods, we wouldn't have a lot of the problems we have today. And it's a shame that we allowed people like this to run herd on us, but we finally got rid of him. He is now a fugitive from the law, and I hope he stays in Baldwin, Mississippi, where he's at right now. Thank you.
Is that the house up towards other end where you are with the yard?
Right next to J.R. Purdue,
yeah.
And next to Mr. and Mrs. Heinrich.
Okay. Well, kudos, Mr. Wilmot. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, I'd like to remind everybody of some upcoming meetings. Our next public business meeting will be March the 7th, 2013, at 5 o'clock right here in room 100. I'd like to announce that the Jennings Run Sanitary District Sewer Project public meeting will be held on Tuesday, March the 12th, 2013, at 7 o'clock in the Allegheny County Office Building, right here, room 100. Also, the Old Town Road Sewer Project public meeting will be held Tuesday, March 19th, 2013, at 7 o'clock in this room as well. Also, I'd like to make an announcement of a news release dated February 28th. This is from the Board of County Commissioners, and the next installment of our Encore for a Hero ceremony. The Allegheny County Commissioners are honoring the members of the 20 fire departments for their service in extremely difficult circumstances during and around January 23, 2013, as a rash of house fires and weather conditions taxed our resources. The Encore for a Hero ceremony will be held for all honorees on Thursday, March 7th at 3:30 at the Allegheny County Office Building, 701 Kelly Road, room 100. The general public is invited to attend this 1-hour event. The fire departments to be represented will be Baltimore Pike, Bedford Road, Bowling Green, Bowman's Addition, Claryville, Corriganville, Cresaptown, Cumberland Fire Department, District 16, and Ellerslie. So I hope we will have a good turnout for that and a chance to honor our heroes. As we like to close every meeting, we thank you for participating in your government, and I hope you have a nice evening. Thank you.